Hey guys, welcome back to Furrykine Gaming. So today's video is all about something really interesting. We are going to look at some of the best simulator-style games you can actually play on Android and iOS. And trust me, this list is not random. Some games here are super relaxing, some are funny and chaotic, and some actually feel way deeper than you expect from mobile games. You'll see everything from hospital management, driving, life simulation, farming, even some crazy sandbox games that make no sense but are really fun to play. And I tried to arrange this list in a way where it keeps getting better and more interesting as we go down. So don't skip, because the last games are really strong. Number 10, PC Creator 2. This game is all about building and managing your own PC setup, and honestly, it feels more satisfying than you would expect at first. You start small, just basic parts, simple builds, but slowly you begin upgrading everything, picking better components, fixing issues, and trying to make the perfect PC setup step by step. What makes it interesting is the feeling of progress, because every upgrade actually feels like you are building something real, not just tapping buttons on a screen. There is also a business side to it, where you manage orders, handle customers, and try to grow your setup into a proper tech empire. And that mix of building plus management keeps it engaging. It's not fast or chaotic, it's more calm and satisfying, where you just get into this loop of building, improving, and optimizing your setups. And that's what makes PC Creator 2 a solid start for this list, because it slowly pulls you into the simulator world without rushing anything. Number 9, Operate Now Hospital. This game puts you right inside a hospital where everything feels busy, stressful, and kind of serious at the same time. You're not just watching things happen, you're actually managing doctors, handling patients, and sometimes even going into surgery moments where every small action feels important. What makes it interesting is how many things are happening at once. One moment you're treating an emergency patient, next moment you're upgrading your hospital, and then suddenly you're dealing with staff and resources. It keeps your attention moving. The surgery parts are especially intense because it feels like you actually have responsibility for the patient, and even simple actions feel a bit pressure-filled in a good way. And slowly, as you keep playing, your small hospital turns into something bigger and more organized, and that growth feels really satisfying. It's a different kind of simulator compared to PC building. More emotional, more urgent, and a bit more serious. That's why Operate Now Hospital fits perfectly at number 9, because it changes the pace and brings a more intense feel to the list. Number 8, Ultimate Car Driving Simulator. This game is basically for anyone who just loves driving freely in an open world without pressure, where you can pick different cars and just explore roads, cities, and highways at your own pace without any strict missions forcing you to rush. From the moment you start, it gives you that simple but relaxing feeling of being behind the wheel, and you can just drive around, test different vehicles, and enjoy the open environment without worrying too much about rules or objectives. What makes it interesting is the variety of cars and the freedom it gives you, because one moment you can be cruising slowly through city streets, and the next moment you can take a faster car and just speed through open roads and feel the driving physics. It also has that casual sandbox feel where you don't really fail anything. You just explore, experiment, and enjoy the driving experience, which makes it perfect when you just want something chill but still engaging on mobile. And compared to the previous games, this one feels more open and visual, less management, more movement, and it changes the pace of the video in a nice way. That's why Ultimate Car Driving Simulator fits at number 8, because it brings that relaxing open-world driving energy. Number 7, Goat Simulator. This game is completely different from everything before it, because instead of being serious or realistic, It just throws you into a crazy sandbox world where you play as a goat and literally anything can happen at any moment. From the start, you can just run around, jump into things, crash into objects, and cause absolute chaos everywhere without any real rules or goals holding you back. And that freedom is exactly what makes it so fun and unpredictable. What really makes Goat Simulator special is that nothing feels normal in it, because you might be doing one simple thing and suddenly the physics will glitch, something random will explode, or you'll fly across the map for no reason. And that randomness is actually the main fun. It breaks the serious tone of simulator games and brings a funny, meme-style energy into the list, which instantly refreshes the gamer's attention after the more realistic driving and management games. And honestly, it doesn't try to be realistic at all. It just focuses on making you laugh, experiment, and enjoy the chaos, which is why people still remember it even after so many years. That's why Goat Simulator fits perfectly at number 7, because it resets the mood and adds pure fun and randomness. All right, guys, before we continue the main list, there is a bonus game I really wanted to include in this video because it brings a completely different type of simulator experience that doesn't fit in this ranking. So this bonus game is BitLife. In BitLife, you are basically living a full life from start to end. But everything depends on the choices you make, and even small decisions can completely change how your story turns out. You start as a baby, and then you grow up step by step, making decisions about school, career, relationships, money, and even unexpected situations that randomly appear during your life. And every choice pushes your story in a different direction. What makes it really interesting is that it is not visual like other games, but still feels very deep because it focuses on decision-making, consequences, and life simulation in a very simple text-based style. Sometimes your life goes normal and successful, and sometimes it turns completely chaotic or funny depending on your choices, which is why people keep replaying it again and again just to see different outcomes. And even though it is simple, it adds a completely different vibe because it shows a more life simulator side compared to the other driving and management games. Number 6, Internet Cafe Simulator 2. This game lets you build and manage your own internet cafe from almost nothing. And what makes it so addictive is the feeling of slowly turning a small, messy place into a huge gaming business that actually feels alive and busy. At the beginning, your cafe looks very basic and kind of broken, so you have to work your way up by buying better computers, improving the setup, keeping customers happy, and managing your money carefully so the business can keep growing. And honestly, that progression is the best part of the game because every upgrade feels rewarding. Whether it's adding new gaming PCs, decorating the cafe, unlocking better equipment, or finally seeing more people come in and spend time there. The game also mixes business management with a bit of chaos because sometimes things don't go smoothly at all. You might deal with dirty rooms, annoying problems, strange people outside, or random situations that suddenly make the gameplay more unpredictable and entertaining. What makes it stand out from other simulator games is that it feels very relatable, especially for gamers, because almost everyone has imagined owning their own gaming cafe at some point, and this game actually gives you that experience in a fun way. And visually, it also feels more alive compared to simpler simulators, because you constantly see your cafe changing, improving, and becoming more successful as time goes on. After the bonus game slowed things down a little, this one brings back stronger progression and management gameplay again, which helps the list start feeling bigger and more serious as we move closer to the top entries. Number 5, Farming Simulator 23. This game takes a much slower and more realistic approach compared to some of the other simulator games, but that's exactly what makes it relaxing and satisfying in a completely different way. Instead of chaos or fast action, Farming Simulator 23 is all about building and managing your own farm step by step, where every small task slowly connects together into something much bigger over time. You start working with fields, crops, tractors, and farming equipment, and at first it might look simple, but once you get deeper into the game, you realize how much detail actually goes into managing everything properly. One thing that makes this game stand out immediately is the vehicles, because the tractors and farming machines look very realistic. And driving them around your fields gives the game that premium simulator feeling that a lot of mobile games usually don't have. And there's something weirdly satisfying about watching your farm slowly grow bigger, because every harvest, every upgrade, and every new machine makes you feel like your hard work is finally paying off, little by little. The game also has a very calm atmosphere most of the time, which creates a nice pacing change after the more chaotic and management-heavy games earlier in the list. But even though it feels relaxing, it still has depth, because you need to think about efficiency, money, equipment, and how to expand your farm properly without wasting resources. It's the kind of simulator game that people can spend hours playing without even realizing how much time has passed, because the gameplay loop becomes very immersive once you settle into it. And as the list keeps moving higher, this is where the simulator experience really starts feeling more polished, detailed, and serious overall. Number 4, Truck Simulator Ultimate. This game feels much bigger than just a normal driving simulator because it doesn't only focus on driving trucks from one place to another, it also gives you the feeling of building and managing your own transport company while traveling across long highways in different cities. The first thing you notice is how large the world feels, because you are constantly driving through different environments, dealing with traffic, weather changes, and long road journeys that actually make the experience feel immersive instead of repetitive. And honestly, the driving itself feels surprisingly satisfying on mobile, especially when you are cruising at night with lights from the city around you, listening to the engine sound, and just focusing on the road ahead for long distances. But what really pushes this game higher on the list is the business side of it, because over time you are not just a driver anymore. You start hiring employees, expanding your company, buying more trucks, and slowly turning a small operation into a large transport business. That progression makes the game feel much deeper than a simple driving simulator, because there is always a feeling that you are working towards something bigger every time you complete another delivery. Visually, it also looks very strong for a mobile simulator game, especially the truck models, road environments, and weather effects, which helps the gameplay clips look much more premium and cinematic during a video. And after the slower farming gameplay before this, Truck Simulator Ultimate brings back that feeling of movement, travel, and large-scale progression, which gives the ranking more energy as it enters the top part of the list. At this point, the list starts feeling more serious and high quality overall, because the games now have stronger visuals, deeper systems, and much bigger simulator experiences compared to the lower rankings. Number 3, The Sims Mobile. This game is probably one of the most recognizable life simulator games on mobile, because instead of focusing on one specific job or activity, it lets you control an entire virtual life where almost everything revolves around your choices and the kind of lifestyle you want to create. From creating your character to designing your house, building relationships, choosing careers, and unlocking new items, the whole experience feels very personal, almost like you are slowly building another version of someone's life from the beginning. What makes The Sims Mobile so interesting is how many different things you can actually do inside it. Because one moment you might be decorating your dream home, and later you could be focusing on friendships, romance, work life, hobbies, or simply trying to make your character more successful. And unlike many simulator games that only focus on one system, this one constantly changes depending on how you play, which keeps the experience feeling fresh for a long time. The customization is also a huge part of why people love it so much, because the game gives you a lot of freedom to design characters, outfits, rooms, and entire homes in ways that actually feel creative instead of limited. There's also a relaxing side to it, where sometimes you just sit back and slowly improve your lifestyle, unlock better furniture, expand your house, and watch everything evolve little by little over time. And honestly, very few mobile simulator games manage to create this kind of virtual life feeling properly, which is why The Sims Mobile still feels special even after so many years. By this point in the ranking, the games start feeling much bigger, more polished, and more immersive overall. And The Sims Mobile fits perfectly here because it brings mainstream popularity together with deep life simulation gameplay in a way that almost everyone can immediately understand and enjoy. Number 2, Bus Simulator Indonesia. This game is easily one of the most iconic mobile simulator games, especially for people who enjoy realistic driving, because it creates that feeling of actually being on the road for long journeys while driving through busy cities, villages, highways, and local streets that feel inspired by real places. The first thing that makes this game stand out is the atmosphere, because it doesn't feel empty or lifeless while driving. You constantly see traffic, roadside areas, buildings, weather changes, and different environments around you, which makes every trip feel more alive and immersive. And honestly, the driving experience itself feels surprisingly satisfying, especially once you start getting used to controlling larger buses through turns, traffic, and crowded roads without crashing into everything around you. One reason so many players love this game is because it feels very connected to local road culture, especially with the bus designs, horn sounds, liveries, and the overall road vibe that gives the game its own identity compared to generic simulator games. The customization also adds a lot to the experience, because players can design buses, change styles, and make their vehicles look unique instead of driving the same default setup forever. But what really keeps people playing is the relaxing road journey feeling, where sometimes you just drive for long distances while enjoying the scenery, traffic movement, and smooth gameplay without needing constant action every second. And visually, this game still looks very impressive for mobile, especially during rainy weather, nighttime driving, or crowded traffic moments where everything feels much more cinematic and realistic. At this stage of the ranking, the simulator games already feel much larger and more polished compared to the beginning, and Bus Simulator Indonesia earns this position because it combines realism, popularity, atmosphere, and enjoyable driving into one experience that a huge number of mobile players still enjoy today. Number 1, Truckers of Europe 3. This game genuinely feels like one of the most premium trucking experiences you can currently get on mobile, because from the moment you start driving, everything from the truck movement to the road atmosphere feels far more detailed and immersive than most people expect from a phone game. The driving is the biggest reason why this game stands out so much, because the trucks actually feel heavy and realistic while turning, braking, accelerating, and moving through highways, which makes long drives feel calm and satisfying instead of arcade-like or overly simple. And once you spend more time with it, you start noticing the smaller details that make the experience even better, like the lighting during nighttime driving, weather effects, traffic movement, interior camera views, and the way different environments slowly pass by during long journeys. There's also something relaxing about the overall pacing of the game, because it doesn't constantly try to overwhelm you with fast action or chaos. Instead, it focuses on immersion, road atmosphere, and making you enjoy the experience of simply being a truck driver traveling across different locations. Visually, this game looks incredibly strong for mobile, especially the truck models and road environments, and that realistic presentation is a huge reason why so many gameplay clips from this game immediately grab attention online. Another thing that helps it stand above many other simulator games is how polished the whole experience feels overall, because the controls, camera movement, sounds, and driving mechanics all work together smoothly in a way that feels more complete and professional. And compared to the earlier games in the ranking, this one really feels like the point where everything comes together properly, because it has realism, strong visuals, relaxing gameplay, immersion, and huge popularity all at the same time. Honestly, even people who normally don't play simulator games can still enjoy this one, simply because driving through long roads with detailed trucks and realistic environments feels strangely satisfying once you get into it. And that's exactly why Truckers of Europe 3 deserves the #1 spot on this list. So yeah, guys, these were some of the best simulator games you can play right now on Android and iOS. And honestly, the variety here is what makes this list really interesting, because every game gives a completely different kind of experience instead of feeling like the same thing again and again. Some games were relaxing, some were chaotic, some focused on business management, and others were all about realistic driving and immersion. So no matter what type of simulator gameplay you enjoy, there was probably something here for you. And if you stayed till #1, I respect, because the top games on this pro list genuinely feel super polished for mobile and are definitely worth trying. Also, let me know in the comments which simulator game is your personal favorite, or if there's any underrated game you think deserved a place here, because I always like checking out new simulator games. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to Furrykine Gaming for more top 10 gaming videos, hidden gems, and mobile game recommendations. All right, I'll see you in the next one.